Hello everyone and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host Prince Magnum. Welcome to Do-It-Yourself Budget Hot Rodding and a very interesting episode that you guys are about to see. This was recorded as the making of this video about 3 weeks ago. When the bad weather started hitting Missouri, and let me say right now, I was at work when the first big snowstorm hit, and the bosses are rushing me out the door because of the fact that I have to drive about a half an hour in normal weather. About half an hour to 45 minutes. Well, today's drive took me a grand total of almost 2 hours, if that's any indication on how bad it was. It hit so quick and so hard that Missouri Department of Transportation did not even get a chance to even get the roads clear. So what you see right now is the result of the fact that we got hit, and it hit us very hard, probably a little harder than we all expected. Now, you're going to see it a couple of moments here and there. Project Spirit kind of slide around because her back tires aren't the greatest. I've still got tread, but it's one of those things that her tires aren't the greatest at the at this particular stage in the game. And later on, shortly after this whole thing with the snow and all of that, Princess Faye and I took Project Spirit over and got brand new back tires on her. So now that those are all good and broke in, you won't see a whole lot of this. That's the funny thing about these old cars. If you drive, got good tires on them, and you have weather like this, and you drive them respectfully, they could pretty well go just about anywhere. Now, here in Missouri, I don't know how it is where everybody else lives, but usually it's not uncommon to see four-wheel drive pickup trucks in a ditch or wrecked against the medium, and you'll actually see one in this video where basically a truck is jammed up against the center medium because they were driving too fast. I don't care if you have a new vehicle, an old vehicle like me, anything like that. Drive respectfully in bad weather like this, because if you don't, you'll end up basically wrecked. And at one particular point, you'll actually see a little front-wheel drive Chevy Cavalier pretty wrecked up because they were driving too fast. And the accident was so bad, a few days later, basically it had police tape all over it, the do not cross sort of thing. So, the accident was that bad. Now, I will also give you another heads up throughout this video. Besides the fact that you'll see Spirit kind of slide around a little bit, and I know big fans of Project Spirit are probably sitting there going, "Oh my God, Spirit, hold her together, hold her together." We held it together. We didn't have too many problems other than she wanted to just slide out, and it really made me miss the manual transmission. When you get weather like this, I never had that many problems, this many problems with the manual. But, again, we're also talking bad back tires. But I need to tell you all, before I get too sidetracked and talking about everything else, where the camera actually sits on the dash, visibility gets kind of rough. So even though I can see extremely clear, you guys, the camera's not going to be able to see. So, but I still used the video footage anyways, because there's still stuff that you can see, despite some of the minor visibility issues, if you will. A lot of this has to do with the fact that people were driving extremely fast, so it's flinging like this icy water up there that, despite the fact that Project Spirit's heat was doing very well, I was not cold. Spirit did an amazing job keeping me warm. Despite all of that, for some reason, the defrost doesn't quite fully get that spot, and it has to do with the placement of the defrost vents. So just kind of a heads up, there will still, you'll have a little bit of visibility issues. but it won't. You'll still be able to see exactly what's going on. I would not waste anyone's time, putting something up. Well, I can't see a thing. I wouldn't waste anybody's time. There's still something to see. So again, just kind of a heads up. Now, I will also give you another inside track. At a certain point in this video, you will actually see where a highway patrolman still pulls someone over. As cold and as nasty as the weather is, if a highway patrolman pulls you over in weather like this, you're driving extremely too fast. You are now a danger to society. I mean, I have my opinions on it, but, it's just one of those things. Folks, be safe out there. It is very, very dangerous in weather like this. I do not need to keep saying it, but real quick, later in the video, you all will get a scare because Project Spirit did actually kick out on me. She did spin out. It was on the one of the roundabouts just before I got home. It really wasn't that super far from home. If you were to twist my arm, maybe a mile and a half from home. So we were extremely close to home, but, it was just one of those things, being that close to home and everything, it did surprise me. I was like, wow, you actually did. I couldn't keep you under control, so it was that close. So from here, I'm going to kind of let, the old 8-bit music kind of take over from here and that sort of thing. And, just to, enjoy the fact that Project Spirit and I managed to get through this horrible mess and make it home safely. Alright folks, we're getting closer to the end of the video, but I want to take a few moments and talk about a couple of things. Number one, earlier in the video when I mentioned that I missed the manual transmission, being in Project Spirit, let me explain why. In all of this nasty weather, the automatic did fine, for an automatic. But the manuals have a distinct advantage in rear-wheel drive vehicles, and for that matter, in any vehicle. They have a distinct advantage over the automatics in weather like this, and let me explain. In pretty much every vehicle that I know of, when you go to push down your brake pedal, 70% of that power, that braking power, goes to the front brakes, whereas 30% goes to the back. Now, this, of course, will vary from manufacturer to manufacturer, and it sometimes might even change a little bit, depending on what type of drivetrain you have. Four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, whatever. Okay, it'll vary a little bit here and there, but by and large, it's going to be 70 to the front brakes, 30% to the back. That's every time you push down your brakes. Now that I've said that, with a rear-wheel drive vehicle like Project Spirit, when I go to push down the brakes, and for that matter, it's all rear-wheel drive vehicles, not just, Project Spirit, but for all rear-wheel drive vehicles, when you go to push down the brakes, what happens is that your front brakes are locked up, but there's not enough power to completely stop those rear tires from just spinning a little bit, because only 30% of the braking power goes to the back. Well, this creates a serious problem. So now the back tires are still kind of turning a little bit. You're still moving forward because your front tires are acting like skis in weather like this. So it's it's just one of those things. So it wouldn't even matter if Project Spirit had good tires, or for that matter, any rear-wheel drive vehicle having good tires, because the back tires are still pushing. Now, I'm not 100% sure on all-wheel drive vehicles, but I know even in some four-wheel drive vehicles, this is also still an issue. Well, with the manual transmission, I'm able to push the clutch in, disconnect the power to the back. Now I have complete control of, the stop, So again, I'm really missing that manual transmission, as far as dealing with weather like this. So it's just one of those things. I know there's some of you that think it's really awesome the Project Spirit's an automatic now, but I will tell you that the manuals, depending on the scenario, one transmission will have advantages over the other. Obviously, the automatics are more convenient, especially if you have a lot of stop-and-go traffic. You don't want to have to be dealing with the, clutching and shifting all the time. I get it, but in weather like this, I feel, and this might just be a matter of opinion, but I honestly feel that the manuals definitely have an advantage over the automatics. But again, that may be just my opinion, but that's where I stand on it. All right. So the other things that we need to talk about really quick before the end of the video. Number one, or in this case now number two, because we already just talked about number one. But number two, and I'm kind of calling myself out on this. If you live in an area where you get weather like you're seeing in this video, make sure that the tread on your tires is good. It was sort of good in my case, but not good enough for this, and I knew it, so I should have taken care of this long before this, and it wouldn't have been as scary of a ride as this. But, things happen, and I just wasn't able to get to it, and I had to learn my lesson the hard way, and having the crap scared out of me to remind me to take good care of my vehicles. But there's some of you out there that won't pay attention to this, and bad things will happen. So take good care of your vehicles. They will take good care of you. Luckily, Project Spirit still took good care of me, and I made it home safe. Along with that, the third thing that I need to kind of go over really quick in this video, drive respectfully in weather like this. Yes, Project Spirit can open up and go really, really fast, but I'm not doing that in this video. So, if you are one of those people that, you know, you just because you think you got a four-wheel drive truck, you can blaze down the highway at 80 and 90 miles an hour in weather like this, you know, good luck to you, okay? I hope that, you get to where you're going safely, because most of you don't. So drive respectfully in weather like this, because that's usually your number one offenders. Of course, you've seen throughout the video there's been a lot of offenders of this, and I hope they made it safe. But in all honesty, if they had an accident, well, you know. So be smart, folks. Be smart out there. Now that I've also said that, I want to give a special shout out to the Missouri Department of Transportation. I don't know how it is in other states, but I know here in Missouri, when we get weather like this, the Missouri Department of Transportation, who they often call MoDOT, gets out there and they're on call 24/7 in weather like this, and they got out there, you know. Yeah, I was already home, but they get out there and they work their butts off clearing the highways of snow so we can get from point A to point B. And in some cases, they risk life and limb. And, you know, they've got families to go home to as well. So I want to take a moment and give a special thank you to the Missouri Department of Transportation, again, for doing the job that they do, clearing the highways, so folks like us can get home. So, at this point, if you're not subscribed to the Prince Magnum channel, I would hope that you would consider doing so. We try to put out content like this as often as we can, showing whether it's about cars, romance, just whatever our flavor is. And if you enjoy stuff like this, the only way you'll know when we put something like this out is to hit that subscription button and ding that bell. Along with that, get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is. Just do something with yourself. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet and do something special for them today. And as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you, and have a happy 24. Thank you.
1.22 with another 116 miles an hour. And right now, good time to get a hot dog all the way for Cam.